All right, so we got Ninth Wonder weighing in on YouTube type beats. I'm kind of holding my breath here because I hope he doesn't say anything crazy. I don't think he will, because Ninth Wonder already dealt with the stigma of being one of the first producers to use FL Studio back when it was called Fruity Loops, who got respect for his production from the more old school contingent of hip hop fans. Because let's be honest with you, a lot of people were using FL Studio or Fruity Loops very early on, but they weren't making hip hop. And if they were making hip hop music, they weren't necessarily making hip hop music that was more reminiscent of like Pete Rock and DJ Premier. And so automatically fans were just claiming it was a toy. It was not anything that could be used for making serious classic sounding music. As a matter of fact, I think Busyworks Busyworks shared something. You know, there's a whole running joke about Soulja Boy being the first to do this and this and this and that. And yeah, he was the first to do a lot of things. Soulja Boy's tweeting that in March 2006, he started the blueprint for the music industry that everyone uses still today to an extent. I agree. Busyworks says 100% facts. Draco did it first, even FL Studio. Now, here's where I'm going to respectfully disagree, because the very first Little Brother album that was produced entirely by Ninth Wonder dropped 3 years prior. And I'm pretty sure he was using Fruity Loops for that. Someone in the comments correct me if I'm wrong. So he dealt with that stigma, and to me, he's the one that was the bridge between the old school hip hop fans and the producers that really couldn't hate on him because he was a child of their sound. He was a child of the golden era to this new generation that was favoring DAW. So let's see what he says.
Now that we're in this internet era and YouTube and everything, there are like 1 million producers.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a consequence of accessibility. On the most recent podcast episode, Aaron and I were discussing how the music business has changed so much and how the prices that labels are paying for beats has gone down. There are a lot of factors. Obviously, back 30, 40 years, there were very few producers who could afford to even purchase the equipment needed to make beats. Nowadays, you can make beats on your phone with the GarageBand app that comes with the phone. You know what I mean? So there is a difference between then and now, and nowadays, accessibility comes with, I guess, saturation.
I go to sessions with people, and I'll listen to the music. I'll be like, yo, this is fire. Who made this? I don't know. I got it off YouTube.
That happens too. Why do people say, I don't know, I got it off? People got to do better when they download shit. This isn't just about rappers. I talk to producers who download samples and stuff. They're like, I don't know where I got this from. Like, what do you mean you don't know where you got it from? You don't have the folder with the name of the sample pack? Anyway.
How do you feel about these producers that just be uploading their beats on YouTube?
I think they're just adjusting to the time. A generation where people are not as sociable as they can and want to be.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, absolutely, I agree with that. I don't think that's the whole reason. Let me just shut up.
It came with the introduction of cell phones and texting, right? It's just, and especially now for COVID, you really can't be.
Right.
So I just think it's just that kids just adjusting to the time, because
COVID did make things worse. The lockdowns did isolate people even more. We're still more isolated. It was an introvert's dream. And it was also an introvert online beat selling producer's dream, because everyone was in the house. People had more disposable income. They were buying more beats. They were making more music. It was a terrible time, but it was also kind of a renaissance for online beat sales. Hasn't been the same since.
wasn't accessible to, first you weren't accessible to your own home studio. That's number one. And then you get to carry over to, you could just not send your beats to anybody. If you hit somebody in the DM and they answer, it's like, oh shit.
I mean, and that's true too. So here's what I'm gonna add to this. Accessibility is a key term. Also, with accessibility, we have to look at the fact that this is all global now. So a lot of the top producers on YouTube aren't even based in North America, aren't even based in the Americas, period. Some of them don't have the resources to travel anyway. They might now if they're selling that many beats, but when they start, they have no idea, can't even speak English. So this is a great way for them to get the stuff out there. Or their kids, they're 16, 17, 18, they're not really able to jump on a plane and get in studio sessions. So I understand why. Plus the reality is that tomorrow's top rapper right now, what are they doing? They're getting beats probably on YouTube. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. Because as Ninth Wonder said, that's just how the times are right now. People go to you. You ask any rapper that doesn't have a close relationship to producers, even artists that I know, that I work with, that I send beats to all the time. If they want something different, where do they go? YouTube, BeatStars.
The only thing I think that they miss out on, and they tell me all the time they miss out on, is the fact that they really want to learn how to produce. And you can only learn how to produce by being with the artist or guiding the artist through the record.
Right.
That's the part I think they miss out on the most.
And you know what? And I appreciate the way that he's touching on this topic rather than turning it into a beat makers versus producers conversation. I don't want to die on the producers aren't beat makers aren't producers, or producers are beat makers hills. I don't care, but it's absolutely undeniably true that the more you know how to do, the more well-rounded you are, the more equipped as a producer you are. So whatever you call yourself, if you call yourself a beat maker, if you call yourself a producer, if you call yourself a programmer, whatever, working directly with artists is always going to teach you something if you haven't done that before. Okay, cool. Shout out to Ninth Wonder for that. Oh, let's talk about this. This is dope. Shout out to Adam Friedman. It's Adam Friedman, Alyssa Minnick. They're breaking down, and this is interesting because they're lawyers, they're breaking down how to negotiate on your own behalf when you're selling a beat. Negotiating deals on your own. Let's break down the essentials every producer should know before signing. Understanding these 4 terms will help you protect your work, get paid what you're worth, and build lasting industry relationships. When producers DM me and say I need a lawyer, I refer them to people like Adam Friedman, Carl Folks, Ryan Schmidt, Cassandra Spangler, etc. Number 1, the advance. Oh, I'm glad they said this. Why push for a higher advance? Some people say get a lower advance and get more on the back end. It's crazy to even suggest that because the way recoupment math works, it's not smart. Get as much as you can on the front end. You'll get paid up front upon release. Yeah, right. But that's why you need someone like Adam Friedman that's going to harass him to pay you on time. If the song flops, you still get paid. Exactly. If it hits, you recoup fast and earn on the back end. Okay, there you go. Recoupable advance equals must be paid back to the label from your royalties. Fee equals doesn't need to be paid back. I mean, nothing needs to be paid back in the sense that you're in debt. It's just recoupment. I don't want to get back into the whole is an advance a loan or not. It's not, but I'm not going to fight anybody on this today. Artist has a low budget. Try these negotiation points. So this sounds more like somebody working, like a producer working with an artist directly rather than through a label. And that's what a lot of us are doing. I mean, realistically, a lot of us are just selling beats online, whatever. Someone hits us up for a custom beat or for exclusive rights. And it really doesn't matter where you are in your career. People tell me all the time, oh, it's easy for you to sell beats online because you have platinum records, you have hit songs. Man, people don't care about any of that. The same tricks they're trying to use on you, and you're the guy that just started putting beats on YouTube yesterday, they're trying on me. So here's a case in point. I get messages like this all the time. And there's nothing wrong with somebody trying, but there is something wrong with the finesse that's behind this particular strategy. When a rapper or singer hits me or a manager and says, hey, I want to work on this beat with you, and I say, cool, yeah, I'll give you a deal on the license. This is someone contacting me. It's not me contacting them. I don't know them. He says, how about I give you 100% profit of the song for the exchange network with you, whatever that means. I respect your work. I appreciate that, but 100% of 0 is 0. So a lot of people will say I'm rude for saying this, but I know the business. And in any other business, people would be jumping all over somebody for suggesting that the person works for a percentage of nothing. And I guess people just don't know that I know this, but it's like all I have to do is look at your stats and I see them. So when you're negotiating with an artist directly, it's not about necessarily even knowing your worth, because if you really enjoy someone's music and their talent, yeah, work with them and don't even worry about the money. But for me, especially when it's like I pay for everything, my bills, my groceries, housing, everything off of music, it's a little different, especially when it's somebody that I don't know that isn't generating anything but is trying to offer me 100% of something that sounds appealing, because 100% sounds appealing, but when you break it down, that it's 100% of nothing. Artist has a low budget. Try these negotiation points. Ask for higher royalty percentage or publishing split. So again, I just showed you a screenshot that shows you this doesn't always work. Number 2, request half the advance as a non-recoupable fee. money. Yeah, that's smart. So like if someone's going to give you $1,000, say, okay, cool, but you can only recoup 500 against me. Negotiate a bonus if the song goes gold. That's called a point bump. That should be present in most agreements. That's on the master side. Well, I guess you can negotiate anything. So let me shut up. I don't know everything. Do a swap, trade beats for future collabs. I've done this with artists 8 out of 10 times. They never fulfill their side of the deal. So there are people that I know that will do this. For example, DJ Luke Nasty. The second I needed a verse from him, I got it back in 24 hours. So shout out to him, but not everybody is built like that. Accept the deal this time, but lock in the next project for more money. I mean, all of these can work. You're just assuming that you're working with people who actually respect the negotiation and who are going to fulfill their end of the deal. That's always the problem. The X factor is the person. You don't know what type of person there are, so who knows? Questions to ask: is there a label involved? How many other producers contributed to the beat? Major label artists actually get smaller splits, but they have higher budgets. Independent artists have more royalties available to share because the labels aren't necessarily. That'd be an unsigned artist, because an independent artist could be signed to a label, and an independent label is usually taking as much as a major. Here's the part that sucks. Following up. This is why it's helpful to have a lawyer to do that for you. When it comes to the underlying composition, the writers and the publishers split. Generally 50% goes to whoever creates the music. They're calling them producers. Nope, I'm not getting into this again. Bottom line, if you contributed to the beat, you should be getting a publishing share. So if you're getting 10%, that means 5% as a writer, 5% as a publisher, to amount to your full 10%. Let me see, one more thing. This guy is getting blasted on Twitter, and I don't want to get into that, but I covered one of his videos because he was speaking in depth about YouTube SEO moving into 2026. I believe he was talking about how to safeguard yourself against YouTube thinking your channel's AI. And then look at this.
So what we're going to do is copy the title of this article, random article on Google. Then you're going to paste it here on this first line. Then we're going to scroll all the way down and we're going to give it 3 sources. And that's going to be links to other articles. So we would go here, we would open up one of these random articles, we would copy the link, and we would paste it here at the bottom. And we would repeat this process, try to give it as many articles as possible, because the last thing you want to do is give false information in your video. That is against community guidelines, and your channel will be terminated for that. So I'm going to use these 4 articles. I'm going to copy the entire link. So we're going to drop that onto Claude and click enter. And there we go. Claude just starts writing a complete script using slang and the wording that the audience likes to hear. Now, I don't think this is long enough to be a 10-minute video. So if anything, if you use that prompt and it doesn't work, just say make it longer. And maybe give it more sources and other things to talk about, because it's probably just repeating the same shit, right? That the guy got arrested.
His entire strategy, as admitted, is to rip off the topics of other creators, run articles through an AI scriptwriter, then have AI narrate it. Yeah, see, this is why the internet just sucks lately, because of shit like this, man. Let the AI fans tell it this technology is going to make us smarter and better and this and that. And realistically, it's just making people lazy. But it is a hustle for people. People are making faster money doing this, but it's a bubble, so it's not going to last forever. So I understand why people are flocking to these social platforms, creating viral content with AI, you know, like, again, the video of the cat with the mouse at the barbecue. You know, that video probably made, I don't know, 6 figures for somebody because it went so viral on Meta, and they actually pay, you know, fairly well, not as well as YouTube, I don't think, but fairly well. Again, I see why people do. The world's on fire. Everyone's just trying to make money before it all burns down. So I get it. Appreciate you tuning in. If you made it this far, just join the damn Discord, patreon.com/DJPayneWin, because if you made it this far, then chances are you probably like me to some extent. So just come through, make some beats with us. It's $5 a month. It helps me. We collab on beats. We talk. It's a small community. We'd love to see you there. Much success to you. Peace.